And this is a really fun icebreaker. It's probably my favorite of all of them. And so everyone shares a favorite quote or poem. And I've done this kind of thing in a social setting with friends where everybody shares a favorite quote or poem. Actually, on a vacation once, we did that over dinner. And I discovered a poem. It was one of the people at the table, my friend Dave, who, a good friend, shared a poem that was his, I believe, favorite poem or one of his favorite poems. And people shared favorite quotes that they had, which I have a number of favorite quotes, and I've shared a bunch of them from Carl Jung, which I will link to again in the show notes if you want access to those quotes as well. So let me read a poem that was shared, which this gives you some insight into other people and what they're interested in and what inspires them, what their passions and interests are. And so people are sharing, and it can be vulnerable as well, which all of these things are. When you're dealing with anxiety, it's leaning into that fear and being vulnerable, meaning you are letting go of the outcome. You don't know what the outcome could be. You're the person who's leading and saying, hey, let's do something different over dinner at Thanksgiving. Hey, let's do something different at birthdays. Let's do something where we get to know each other. I have this idea. I heard about this icebreaker, or I did this with my work team, and it was so fun. So here's this poem. I want to read it because it's inspiring to me. It's called If by Rudyard Kipling. So if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor look too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they're gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. And, which is more, you'll be a man, my son. So that's If by Rudyard Kipling. So what is a favorite quote or poem that you have that you could share with somebody else? I challenge you to share it with somebody just out of the blue. So what do you do with this? And how does this relate to social anxiety? So social anxiety is going to be this voice that tells you you're going to be rejected. It's that inner a-hole. That's what I like to call it. So it's talking to you. It's trying to keep you safe. It's saying you know, you're going to be rejected. You're going to fail. People aren't going to like you. It's going to fall apart. Don't do it. It could be the worst decision you've ever made. There's no going back. It's this very extreme voice. It's a tyrant. It's a tyrant. And we don't want to listen to it. When we get space from it, then we have power over it. We're making the subconscious conscious. We become victimized by our thoughts if we don't become aware of them, because then we react rather than respond. Then we do things that we eventually will say, why did I do that? But that's not what I'm talking about here when I talk about taking risks. I'm talking about intuitive inspiration. You believe it's the right next step, next thing to do that God has put in front of you. So you just try it.